I'm going to talk today about my life and work breaking narcissism. Because narcissism, extreme bullying, related personality things, psychopathy, borderline are psychologies, okay? And I'm going to talk about the psychological, spiritual journey and battle I've encountered over the last 28 years that could break narcissism.
John Myers has remarkably confronted the challenges of our time. Through his journey, John developed the philosophy that our goodness is strength. Together, we will change the world.
I have a lot of concern with our young people and what people are learning, what people are teaching for that matter in this day and age. In my previous video, I talked about, college professors and my brother and his wife, sister-in-law, versus the notion of intelligence. And it's so important what we learn in society, what we teach. And my journey has put me in touch with psychology that's operating in our culture that's harmful to a lot of people. And it's become my mission over the last 28 years to defeat it. Certainly to hold my own with it. If not defeat it, what do I have? Look for it later. My thing with how I've reached the United States Supreme Court. But it goes beyond that. It's a psychological, it's a spiritual battle, which, the divine God has put me in the middle of that battle. And I don't, we can talk about the deep roots I have, going back to grandmothers, over 100 years old in Scranton, and the intensity and the ferocity of the storm that came against me. But somewhere along the line, I drew the line with fairness and unfairness in my life. And, I said, I'm not going to accept unfairness. And my set of circumstances came out of, younger, family that came against me irrationally, divorce situation, and all these forces gathered against me to take me down. And where I held the line was at fairness. I said, you're not going to do, there is energy in this world which seeks to destroy other people. And I think that's an insight that people don't know. And so not only did I start to take on the element of fairness in my own life, I began to take it on for society as a whole because, I think I'm uniquely characterized for whatever reasons to take on this battle. And so when I say, defeating, narcissism and this kind of thing, and to me, I've seen it in its most extreme forms, malignant narcissism, psychopathic energy, there's borderline personality disorder. There's a lot of things in the culture. But the thing is this, that there's, I don't know everything, but I know there's an odd mix of those psychologies with our systems, like our like our financial systems, like our healthcare even, like our legal system, that it is embedded deeply are these, unfair, retributive kind of energies, certainly condescending ones. And I'm saying that's not right for society. So I've taken on this whole, it's a psychology that's come at me for 35 years in some ways, certainly in harshest form over the last 28. And, what I'm sharing with you is, my journey and how I've worked to, I've said it, and I know I hear and see people in narcissism communities who are very hurt and really pushing back. And what I'm encouraging out of my process, the way that narcissism is being defeated is, it takes an incredible amount of endurance. And for people who are in this situation, you have to realize, that to get beats a long haul, that the parameters you have to use over the long time are, things that have been denied from you, like reason and rationality. And you have to set those bars up here and kind of cling and work and commit, commit to those courses because you're not going to get them necessarily from the narcissist, the psychopath. You're only going to get them potentially by defeating them in some way. And the only ways to defeat them are to, to me, I believe the element of purpose is very important. But it's really about committing to this course and understanding that you are, for those who haven't dealt with extreme narcissism, it's like a very, in old martial arts or Asian movies, they used to have, like balls with spikes on them they'd throw. And it's like dealing with something with spikes on it that can affect your psychological system, emotional system, very deeply. And because it does things you wouldn't expect. And so what you have to do, even while the pain's going on, is commit to this course of reason. And I mentioned breaking narcissism and, the calling of my journey. Yeah, for one, that's taken me now as far as the United States Supreme Court. I love the tan one last, but not least. I can maybe get into that in some other video because there's there's an intriguing story there. So along the way, I've developed this understanding of something called the tort for the intentional infliction of emotional distress. And, as a legal remedy that people who assault your mindset, your emotional and mental well-being, there are laws, even though people are not familiar with them, there are laws that can be used, certainly in a civil sense, sometimes occasionally in even a criminal sense. But, there are fightbacks, and this has been part of my 28-year journey to develop these societal understandings. It's not only with the Supreme Court, it's, with society in general, to understand there are people who are being greatly harmed by others and to push for fairness in society. And to me, it's a psychology, okay, that a lot of people, and what I'm concerned about is like a middle 30 or 40% who, who are not, extreme narcissists, and yet are being influenced in the culture at large by this hurtful ideology and how we see innocent people being swept up by this. And so, that thereby the birth of goodness is strength. My philosophy that we have to start teaching the notion that our goodness is our strength. And that's kind of even my broader counterweight to the extreme narcissism and how to, break narcissism is to teach people that our goodness, our purpose, what's good inside of us, it's not only better, it's stronger than narcissism. And that's what we have to educate people what the harms are, and then really steel people up. And with our coaching, training, and mediation, get you to commit to a course that's going to be challenging. And unfortunately, a lot of people, once they start to understand what a narcissist is or how they've been harmed, they believe that enough is that's enough. And in a way it is. And on the other hand, that's where the journey really begins, because in order to defeat and break the narcissist, you have to commit to you have to, change your life orientation in a way. You have to, enhance this element of purpose and say, I'm going to commit to this course, no matter how long it takes, because my life is too valuable. And maybe it's your children's life, whatever is important to you is too valuable to give in to lesser energy. And that's my work for society, to enhance us to a higher level of energy. Check out our website, like and subscribe.